What is going on, guys, and welcome to my channel. If you guys know me from TikTok and you came from over here, welcome. If you don't know me at all, I have a TikTok page. I talk about wrestling sometimes. I talk about a bunch of other stuff other times. It's kind of random, but this YouTube channel I started to talk specifically about pro wrestling, guys, and what a time to kick off, in my opinion, because we're on the road to WrestleMania over in WWE, and it's been a chaotic ride to say the least. Again, if you guys have not seen my TikTok page, go check it out. I've been talking about wrestling a bunch. I've been talking about the road to WrestleMania thus far over on my TikTok page. If you missed that, be sure to check it out. But anyway, guys, whether you're from my TikTok page or you're brand new, I hope you'll subscribe to this channel. I hope to upload as much wrestling content as I can, as often as I can. I'm pretty sure you're going to love it. Let me know in the comments down below what you would maybe like to see in terms of wrestling content, and I will take that into consideration because I'm trying to just whip out as much content as I can for you guys. So whatever you guys want to see, leave it in the comments, and I will be looking through those. Always looking for new ideas for videos. So if you enjoy this video and you want to see more videos, or you enjoy my TikTok page, please like, comment, subscribe, and also go follow my TikTok page if you haven't already. I upload there pretty frequently as well. I'm trying to more frequently upload on all my social media platforms. So this would be a perfect time for you guys to subscribe if you want to see more. But anyway, into the meat of today's video, guys, I will be talking about WrestleMania 41. More specifically, I will be talking about my WrestleMania 41 predictions. Now, we've had a crazy road to WrestleMania. It's been pretty unpredictable. I am filming this about a week and a half after Elimination Chamber took place. A lot of the card is already taking shape. Some of the card is up in the air. We're going to predict top to bottom the WrestleMania card. We're going to see how I did. I'm also going to be back here on this channel and on my TikTok, and I'm going to be making my official WrestleMania predictions when the final card comes out. This is not predictions of who's going to win each match, but this is more predictions of the match cards and what I think it's going to be. So without further ado, let's get into the WrestleMania card. I have a lot of matches predicted here. I have a total of 17 matches predicted. So I don't think all of them are going to happen, because that would be, they usually stick to like 6 or 7 matches per night on these WrestleManias. So, but I wanted to predict as much as I can. And with so much talent on the roster right now, it's kind of hard to predict who's going to be on the card, who's going to be left off. And that was something I had to take in consideration a lot with this list, is who is going to be left off the card, who needs to be on the card, things like that, because the roster is absolutely stacked now. So for starters, I want to start with matches that I did not end up putting on this list. For starters, I don't think we're going to have the women's mid-card titles on the show. I would really like to see that. I don't think Triple H has been handling these women's mid-card titles as well as he could be. I mean, you have Chelsea Green over on SmackDown, who's losing left and right. You've got Lyra Valkyria, who is defending rather frequently and is doing a good job as champion, but they haven't really set up much for her in terms of a Mania match. A lot of people were thinking maybe Becky Lynch. There's no sign that Becky Lynch is going to return before WrestleMania. Some people have said a triple threat with Bayley and Roxanne Perez. The reason I didn't predict that is, one, I think Bayley versus Roxanne Perez is going to be more of a stand and deliver match rather than a WrestleMania match. And also, this match, I didn't want it to be multi-man mania, because we have a bunch of triple threats. We got, or possible triple threats. We got a bunch of multi-man matches, and I don't think WWE is just going to hit us with that many. So I think these titles, unfortunately, are going to be left off the card. The other titles I have left off the card is the World Tag Team titles over on Monday Night Raw. I mean, can anyone really agree with me? What's going on there? They have nothing set up there. The tag team division over on Raw is just in an awful state. You have Alpha Academy and A-Town Down Under getting involved in the world title scene for some reason. And then you have the War Raiders, who are the champs, the New Day, all kind of just doing their own thing. So nothing, I think, that warrants a WrestleMania spot for these titles. But let's finally get into the matches that I do think could possibly be on the show. We're going to start with the match that is probably the most unlikely, if I'm being honest with myself, but I wanted to put it on here anyway as an honorable mention. It is Rey Mysterio and the Lucha Bros taking on Chad Gable and the New Day in a 6-man tag team match. This would be a really good kickoff match if they decide to bring back kickoff matches, which I don't think they will. They haven't done that really much in the past. But if they want to bring back kickoff matches for WrestleMania, I do think this would be a really good match to maybe put on a kickoff show. There's a lot of reports that Rey Fenix is now a free agent and can go wherever he wants. And if that is the case, I see him coming to WWE very soon. I don't see them leaving someone like Rey Mysterio off the card. And of course, you have the New Day and Chad Gable, who are feuding with the Luchadors. And you could do LWO, but come on, this is WrestleMania. I think Rey Mysterio and the Lucha Bros would be absolutely insane. So I do think this match is a strong contender for happening. Probably the least likely out of all the matches that I'm predicting, but I figured it was worth a mention. Now I want to get into some of the confirmed matches on the card. First, we've got Jey Uso versus Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I've ranted about this at length in the past about how I feel about this match. I don't think WWE's handling it well at all. I think a lot of people would agree with me. I don't think Jey Uso was set up properly to be put into this storyline, if you want me to be completely honest. I think I can't help but feel like this match kind of just came out of thin air. This storyline just came out of thin air, and the decision was made last minute. People are saying the decision wasn't made last minute. It kind of feels like that, because it kind of feels like they started this feud with no real direction going into it. I mean, you have Gunther feuding with the Alpha Academy. You've got Jey Uso feuding with A-Town Down Under. It doesn't make any sense. But regardless, this is a match we have confirmed for WrestleMania. I'm not going to go into my predictions of who's going to win, things like that. I just wanted to add this because obviously this is a match that is already confirmed for the card. Continuing on with confirmed matches, we've got John Cena versus Cody Rhodes for the WWE Championship. Now, those of you who know me know I'm a diehard Cena fan. I am kind of excited to see what this heel run is going to bring. For the last 2 weeks, Cody Rhodes has kind of been tasked with carrying the aftermath of such a monumental moment on his own, because obviously John Cena hasn't showed up yet. And to be fair, to his credit, I think he's doing a really good job of carrying this, but I think it's going to take a whole new turn when John Cena shows up on TV. I think it's just bound to happen that John Cena shows up on TV, this thing just becomes massive. And I'm very curious to see what a heel John Cena looks like, what a heel John Cena looks like on the mic. What kind of stuff are they going to be spitting back and forth at each other? Is he going to have similar gear? You know, it's so many questions, and I am very intrigued by this. I'm very intrigued by this match in general. But again, not going into predictions of what I think is going to happen in the match, but I am very hopeful and very excited about this match and this feud as a whole. I think we're looking at the last match that is actually 100% confirmed right now. We've got Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte Flair for the WWE Women's Championship. I think this is the last match that, as of this recording, is officially confirmed. I know they confirmed Bianca versus Io. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I do think this is the final match that they have announced officially for this show. As we know, the build-up has not been very good for this thing. I think they do have a lot to go in terms of selling us on this, and I don't think they've been doing a great job of building Tiffany Stratton up as a champion worthy to go against Charlotte Flair. And that's obviously very concerning. They obviously still have time to kind of fix that error, but who knows exactly what they're going to do with it. I'm hoping the feud just kind of builds from here, because so far it hasn't been that great, but we'll have to see. But of course, we know Tiffany Stratton and Charlotte happening at WrestleMania. Now, let's get into some matches that are all but confirmed. Not exactly confirmed, but come on, we know where they're going. And that is where we come back to Io Sky and the Women's World Championship. It's probably going to end up being a triple threat with Io, Bianca, and Rhea, because they announced Io versus Bianca, which makes sense. That they would be kind of announcing it as that right now, but come on, there's no way they leave Rhea off WrestleMania. This match is going to be a triple threat match. I'm honestly not against it. I'm a huge fan of Io Sky. I was actually kind of worried they were going to leave her off the Mania card when she didn't enter the chamber. I would have preferred to see Rhea versus Io one-on-one, or Bianca versus Rhea, obviously one-on-one, because that is a dream match for a lot of people. But I don't mind this triple threat. I don't mind that this match is happening at all. And I don't know what they're going to do in terms of a story. I don't know how well it's going to be in terms of storyline. But this is going to be one of those matches that once they get in the ring, it's going to frickin' bang. This match is going to cook. And there's no doubt in anyone's mind about that. But come on, this match is all but confirmed. Speaking of triple threat matches, let's look at another match that's all but confirmed. You got Roman Reigns, the Tribal Chief, CM Punk, and Seth Rollins in a triple threat match. I was really against the idea of this match from the beginning. I didn't think there was much story to be had here. I do think the bigger story is with Roman and Seth as, a singles match, but I do think you add Paul Heyman in there. You add some interesting kind of tales and interesting kind of match dynamics and story dynamics as well. I am a little worried about the idea that WWE is throwing away kind of two big money matches and putting them into one. We kind of saw this last year with Punk, McIntyre, and Seth. But due to Punk's injury, we kind of got saved from that and stuff like that. But I do think Punk versus Roman and Roman versus Seth in their own right are kind of big matches on their own and big money matches on their own. And I don't know how I feel yet about kind of throwing away that opportunity, but we'll have to see, how the storyline goes. I have a feeling that all three of these guys are storytelling masters. You got Paul Heyman in there. This is probably going to be a good storyline, so I'm not going to complain about it too much, but especially after Raw MSG, this is basically confirmed. I think this match also kind of falls into the all but confirmed category. We've got Jade Cargill versus Naomi. These gals have been feuding since Elimination Chamber. We had that segment on SmackDown, the follow-up segment. I think people knew this match was coming even kind of before Elimination Chamber, but now it's basically all but confirmed that we are going to get Jade Cargill versus Naomi at WrestleMania. And I am really excited for this because I do think that both these women are going to get a really good opportunity to shine here that they haven't really gotten in the past as single stars on a big stage like this. So I'm excited for what kind of story they can tell. I'm excited that Bianca's not really involved in it right now because she was an important part in the beginning of the story, but I think now Bianca just needs to focus on her match and let these two cook. I think Bianca should just leave this thing alone. But I am really excited about the prospect of this story and this match. Let's go into some of the matches that are not necessarily locks, but matches that, you can kind of see coming from here. And first is the WWE Tag Team Championship picture. Let's be real, these guys are set on a collision course for a multi-man ladder match. These 5 teams, DIY, Motor City Machine Guns, the Street Profits, Pretty Deadly, and Los Garza, they've all been cooking on SmackDown. They've all been doing great work. They've all kind of been chasing the tag team titles. It's been kind of chaotic. I don't know what they're doing if it doesn't lead to a match of this caliber. I think it definitely should lead to a multi-man ladder match of some kind. Kind of like what we had last year at Mania, but this one, I feel like there's a lot more story going into this match, and I am really excited about that. Let's talk about the United States Championship, which is kind of in a bit of limbo. This one is kind of hard to predict, but if I'm going to go with anybody, I am going to say Jimmy Uso. You look at the entire SmackDown mid-card, it's in a pretty good state right now. You got a lot of big names in the SmackDown mid-card. I don't think they're going to do a bunch of multi-man matches. I originally was just going to throw 6 or 7 guys in there and make it another huge multi-man match. But I don't see WWE doing 2 of those. And the tag titles are definitely going to get it if one match is going to get it. So it's hard to choose just like one opponent for LA Knight, but if it's going to be anybody, I think Jimmy Uso's got a lot of momentum behind him. I think this match just has the potential to be good, and I could see them really doing a thing with both Usos celebrating with their titles at WrestleMania. WWE love to do big moments like that, so I could see that really being a thing. Let's quickly talk about matches that no one is excited for, and that is Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. It seems like this is where they're going 100%. Originally, they said like WWE was going to reevaluate this match. Seems like they haven't. Seems like they are going full force with this match. And I think the common criticism, which is one that I agree with, is this match is kind of lifeless. There's not really a lot to this match. It kind of feels like a SmackDown match or like a B-level pay-per-view. It doesn't really scream WrestleMania to me. I think Drew McIntyre would have been a lot better suited maybe going after the U.S. title and going after LA Knight. I think that would have been a much better match for Drew McIntyre. I think LA Knight and Drew McIntyre had kind of a built-in story there for a little bit that they could have capitalized on and given Drew a bigger match, a bigger opportunity. But I think at this point, you've just got to take what we're given, and what we're given is this match. Maybe it'll be a good match, and we could just focus on that. But I think the story is pretty lifeless, but I do think this match is happening. Speaking of other matches that I don't really know how I feel about yet, but I do think are going to be involved on the card, is Solo Sikoa versus Jacob Fatu. I think they're kind of destined to make Jacob Fatu a bigger star. So with them wanting to do that, I do think maybe they put Jacob Fatu over Solo here. Again, this isn't like a prediction video, but I don't know why else they would be putting this match on if not to give Jacob Fatu a big match and make Jacob Fatu look good. And alternatively, Solo has had a pretty good year. I would say Solo's had the best year of his career. It might not have been everybody's cup of tea, but I think you got to admit that Solo Sikoa has had the best year of his career. And he does kind of warrant his own WrestleMania match. He's kind of been the side character of the last 2 WrestleManias he's been a part of. So I think this is a good moment for both Solo and Fatu. I don't know what they do with the rest of the new bloodline after this, if it all kind of splinters off. They haven't really broken up yet. So, I mean, there is still a chance this match doesn't happen at Mania, because they are running out of time to do the turn and then to, tell a story from there. But you never know what's going to happen. And I do think they want to give, especially someone like Jacob Fatu, a moment like this. The next match that kind of basically got confirmed on Raw, even though it's not really confirmed, is Logan Paul versus AJ Styles. Now look, I know we don't have much story to go on right now, and it's not that exciting from that aspect. I also know a lot of people don't like Logan Paul. I like Logan Paul from an in-ring standpoint. I like what I see on WWE television with the work that he does as a heel, and that's kind of all I'm trying to focus on right now in terms of that. I don't like to focus on a lot of the outside stuff. But if Logan's not your cup of tea, I do understand that. But I think from what he's delivering on TV, I think he's doing a pretty good job. Regardless, there's not a lot of story to go off of right now, but I do think, let's be real, when these two get in the ring, they're going to cook. Like, this is going to be one of those matches that is just, could probably steal the show if I'm being totally honest with you. And I am really excited to see what they can deliver in ring. But we'll have to see what they deliver from like more of a storyline perspective going from here. I guess this is another match that's all but confirmed, but we got Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens. This match is probably going to have some crazy stipulation. I don't know what that stipulation might be. It could be something like last man standing. Kevin Owens has had a lot of stipulation matches as of late, so he's kind of cut through all the stipulation matches you can do. But I think something like last man standing could really benefit both guys here, and I think would be probably the best bet to go with in terms of stipulation matches, because let's be real, these two need a stipulation. They're not just going to have a straight bell-to-bell mat classic. That's not what this match calls for at all. But I do think that Randy Orton and Kevin Owens are bound for a collision course at WrestleMania. I mean, this is basically just a no-brainer. The next match I have predicted here is Sami Zayn versus Karrion Kross. I know this might not sound appetizing to a lot of people. It doesn't really scream WrestleMania. But obviously, someone like Sami, you gotta have him on the card. And there's no one he's really naturally feuding with who isn't already involved in something else like Karrion Kross. So process of elimination, Karrion Kross is really your only option here. I do find it kind of funny that Karrion Kross, the only PLEs he's ever been on is WrestleMania. At least over the last year. I do find that kind of funny. You know, he was on WrestleMania 40, wasn't on a single PLE since, and the next one he's on is Mania 41. Which, you know, if I'm Karrion Kross, I'm not complaining about that because you're getting on WrestleMania, you're getting that WrestleMania paycheck. But Karrion Kross has been doing a lot better work as of late. I think he is doing the best work of his career, and I think these two could tell a pretty good story and probably have a really good in-ring match, too. But in terms of getting Sami Zayn on the card, this is the only option I see. If they don't do this, I think Sami Zayn might get left off the card, if not this match. Ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Braun Breaker, the Intercontinental Champion. What is WWE doing with the Intercontinental Championship? That is the biggest question I have had to ask myself. I even contemplated leaving Braun Breaker off this card, believe it or not, because I don't see what they're possibly doing with him. I don't see what direction they're taking with Braun Breaker. I mean, originally we thought it was AJ, but now AJ's caught up with Logan Paul. We thought it was Penta, but Penta's getting, caught up with other stuff at this point. He's facing Ludwig Kaiser and all that other stuff. And if Rey Fenix returns, I think he would more likely join the Luchador stuff. And then we all thought it was Finn Balor. He's feuding with Finn Balor, but now he's facing Finn Balor on Raw next week for the title. So where does that leave us? I don't know. I thought long and hard about this, and I literally almost got so close as to take Braun Breaker off the card. So if that's the case, I mean, that seems kind of unfortunate, but I did come up with a match for Braun Breaker, the only one that I could really think of, and it's not even that appetizing, but I couldn't really think of anything else. If he dispatches a Finn Balor on Raw, I think the only other option is to give him Dominic Mysterio. Dominic and Finn have kind of had their thing going on, so I could see Dominic kind of jumping in line right behind Finn and doing something. That's the only match I could really see happening from a Mania perspective, because I don't see what else they are setting up for Braun Breaker. I really don't see what else there is for Braun Breaker to do. They could just pull a massive swerve and have Finn Balor win the Intercontinental Championship from Braun Breaker on Raw. From there, you could do a couple more things. You could do a rematch with Braun and Finn, as Finn going in as the Intercontinental Champion. Or maybe you could do Finn versus Dom for the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania. That would leave Braun Breaker off the card. So that would suck, but I don't know, man. The IC title picture is crazy. Triple H did say there's a lot more swerves coming, so maybe Finn Balor wins the Intercontinental Championship, which I would not be opposed to, quite honestly, because Finn Balor has been losing way too much for far too long, and it would be nice to really see him win some gold here. I don't want to see Finn Balor keep losing. So, in terms of my official prediction, what do I think is going to happen here? You know what? I'm going to go with the wild card. I'm going to say Finn Balor versus Braun Breaker, but Finn Balor goes in as Intercontinental Champion. That's all I'm going to say. And for the last match I'm predicting, it is for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Let's be honest, they're not going to leave Liv off the Mania card. She's had, admittedly by Triple H, she's had a megastar year, and Triple H sees a lot in her. He said as much. So I don't think he's going to leave Liv Morgan off the Mania card. In terms of tag teams of who Liv and Raquel could really face, I did have to think about this a lot. I saw a lot of people saying Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross. We haven't even really seen that team form yet. We haven't even seen the Wyatt Six back on TV, and time is running out. So at this point, I don't really know. But the team I did end up going with is another team who I think has had a pretty good year and deserves a Mania spot, and that would be Nia Jax and Candice LeRae. I think Nia Jax, obviously she was champion for a majority of the year. She had a pretty good year, and I could see WWE rewarding her with a Mania spot. Same with Candice LeRae. She's kind of had a bit of a breakout year. As you know, prior to that, she didn't really do very much. So I could see this being the Mania direction. And honestly, I don't see any other women's tag teams really going after Raquel and Liv at this point. Well, there you have it, guys. There is my WrestleMania match card predictions. I will be kind of comparing and contrasting with the Mania card we end up getting, kind of seeing how far off I was or how accurate I was. But in the meantime, between now and then, I don't really have any more video ideas. I'm probably going to come up with some. But again, if you have ideas of wrestling content you'd like to see on this channel, leave it in the comments down below. I will be reading them. And I'll be happy to make more wrestling content. Again, I'm kind of going on that content grind. So let me know in the comments what you would like to see in terms of wrestling content. But as for today, that's been my time. Thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time.